friends with Dorothy, fighting for your civil rights. Out on the cruel streets tonight. For Sylvia and Marcia, life was harder than you'll ever know. Still they placed a star where others just threw a stone. Ignited, 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 yeah.
I am joined today by the most fabulous duet from the beautiful city of Cork. Some people out there might know them as Sparkle, but we know them as Carolyn Bailey and Johnny Bhean. Welcome to LGBTQ+life.
Thanks so much. How are you, Mick?
I'm good. Before we talk about yourselves and the band, I've got to say, I first came across you guys at, I think it was the 2018 Dublin Pride, and you came on the stage there at Dublin Pride in Stephen's Green, and you were a rollicking band. I've got to say that you were what we call high energy. Now, normally people who play at the Green, they don't tend to play at the second gig, which is in Smithfield. But you came along there, and I've got you might have even seen it. I've got the video, and when you play. And I switched the camera around to the audience. My God, they just loved you, didn't they? They really got into it. I mean, that must be really heartwarming when you see that, particularly from a Dublin audience.
Yeah, do you know what? I think it was definitely one of the best gigs, if not the best gig we've ever played.
It definitely was.
It was amazing. Yeah, it was unreal.
Yeah. Well, you also played again the following year, and by that stage it was in Fitzwilliam Square. And they loved you again, so what can I say? They've taken you to their hearts, which is very reassuring, I think.
Yeah, we hope now we can get to play again this year. So fingers crossed, it looks a bit better this year than the last couple of years anyway.
Well, wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great? But I want to talk about 2021 was very memorable, particularly for Carolyn in a whole range of ways. Now, I don't want to talk about the negatives, Carolyn, but first of all, you were in a car crash, were you not?
I was in a car crash in September. I broke my neck and I broke my pelvis in 3 places. So we've been out of work with the pandemic anyway, we've been out of work for a while, but it was just crazier, but on the mend.
Yeah, and then following that, you really set the nation on fire when you appeared in The Last Singer Standing. Is that correct?
Yeah. Thankfully it was pre-recorded because when I finished the final, I actually crashed a couple of days later, so it was all pre-recorded. But yeah, it was fantastic experience. It was great.
Mm-hmm. I've got to come to yourself, Jen, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way. Now, last year, I was sitting here at my laptop and I was looking at Cork Pride, and you came on there and you were great. And then I saw this person coming there and they were going down on their hands and knees and they proposed to you. Now, you were shocked at the time, but I was even more shocked because I thought, oh no, I knew you were a couple from the previous year. And I thought, oh no, Jen's got rid of Carolyn and she's got this babe there now. And this real hottie. And then I thought to myself, and it was only a couple of weeks later and I suddenly realised, hold on, that hottie is Carolyn. First of all, Jen, how did you feel when you saw that all happening? Because you didn't seem to know, and you did seem to be shocked.
Yeah, I was definitely shocked. I never expected that out of her. Just we had talked about like marriage and stuff in the past, and she was like, "Oh no, it's not for me," and I kind of had accepted that. Like, you know, I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, fine, no matter." And then like when she did, I thought she dropped something on the stage. I was like, "Are you okay? What are you you know?" But yeah. So I was delighted, over the moon, like, you know.
Yeah. now, none of us are going to go into this whole thing about figure shaming, but my God, Carol, you've whatever you've been doing, it's been working because it's a transformation. There's no getting around it. I mean, you've brought out this inner self. It's you know, you, the way I will put it, when I saw you first at Pride, you were what we call cuddly. Whereas, yeah. Whereas now, what can I say? You're a hottie. And that's coming, and that's coming from a bloke.
Oh, you're gas.
So what? How did the transformation came about? Because I mean, it requires a hell of a discipline to go from what you were to who you are now.
Slimming World, all the way. Yeah, I joined Slimming World and I lost nearly 6 stone. And then I became a Slimming World consultant then as well. So now I help other people lose weight as well. Great.
Incredible. So, was it all diet or was it exercise as well? Because there's a lot of people out there would love to know your secret.
Yeah, no, just all diet really. Go for a walk here and there whenever I can, but it's mostly all my food, yeah.
Yeah, and did you have to throw out lots of clothes?
Yeah, but I also gained a lot of lovely new clothes,
Of course
smaller ones.
Yeah. You must be now the most envied person in Cork, John. You know, when people see this gorgeous woman walking down the road on your arm, you must be saying, "Hey."
You know what? I would do that anyway, so I'm so grateful to have her. But I have to fight them off now.
I don't.
Well, that's it. To use an expression, you have to wear dyke repellent. But
Like to get the lesbians away from you.
exactly, it is. It's like mosquitoes.
Yeah.
But when I first saw you, people said, "Oh, and here's Sparkle, and they're a couple." So can I ask, first of all, did you meet as musicians first, or did you meet as individuals first?
Yeah, so we did a charity gig years ago in Chambers, actually in Cork, and it was for a suicide night, and we were both in separate bands, but we met and we just clicked straight away. Do you know when you meet someone and you just get on, and we were just like, oh my God, we're going to be best friends for life. And we stayed like friends for years and years, and then Caroline,
Me again.
decided to shock me again, and I suppose after a while, like we kind of realized we had feelings for each other and stuff like that, like, but it was more Caroline came to me and was like, Jen, look, I have feelings for you and stuff like that, like, you know, and like no, you don't. So yeah. So it's all kind of really.
Well, can I put it to you and go back to yourself then, Carolyn, because I know that you've got a beautiful daughter called Ellie, so you didn't always play for the girls' team. Was that a major decision, or was Jen just irresistible?
So irresistible. I'm still shocked to this day. Like, no, I never once before questioned myself. And then I started getting feelings for Jen. Like, I've never looked at a girl any other way other than I say a beautiful girl and I'm like, oh, I love her hair, I love her clothes, I love her makeup and stuff, but I'd never be attracted to a girl until I met Jen. And now obviously I love Jen and I obviously wouldn't see past Jen. So I've never been with any other girl before and I don't think I ever could be. So that's why I'm marrying this one.
Thank God.
Why would you be? I mean, you know, when you win the lotto, you don't go out and try and buy a ticket for the local sale of work, do you?
Exactly. A keeper. Yeah, a keeper.
Yeah.
Oh.
Can I talk to you about the music at this stage? Because when I lived in Australia, there was a band called Weddings, Parties, Anything, and I thought to myself, that perhaps sums up you guys. Is that correct?
Yeah. To be honest, we kind of would play anything anywhere. Yeah. It's a great name.
It is, isn't it? I mean, they were a very good band if you ever get to listen to them. But professionally, it's got to have been very, very difficult over the last couple of years for you because there's, nobody has been earning any money in live performances. So how have I know you've been putting out singles, which we'll talk about later, but how have you survived in the interim? Like,
It's been very tough, to be honest, Mick. Like, I found it very, very hard. Caroline kind of started her new business with Slim and World things, so she kind of had that at least to keep her going. Now she obviously really missed singing as well, don't get me wrong, but it has been very, very hard. We're buzzing to get back to work, and we're going to do, I'd say, more gigs this year than we've done in the last couple of years, like, so we're really, like, we got a good few calls and stuff like that. The diary's filling up so good so far, and it's only January, that kind of way. So we're delighted to kind of hopefully get back to normal now soon.
Yeah. Carolyn, when you were on RTE, and again, I didn't recognise you the first time round because I thought, hasn't that woman got a great voice, and doesn't she have a great stage presence? And it was only when, because I'll be honest, I don't tend to watch RTE very much, and it was only when I looked it up I realised, that's our very own Carolyn. First of all, how did the experience come about, and how did you feel? Because you did extremely well.
Thanks very much. Do you know what? I didn't apply for it because I don't like competitions. So I just feel like, I sing and I like to sing and I love singing. That's my thing. I don't like competing with people. So Jen again, she said to me one day, Caroline, there's this new show coming on RTE. It's called, it was actually Last Singer Standing. And I was like, yeah. I was like, no, all right, okay, cool. And she's like, I'm going to sign you up for it. And I was like, no, on my own. And she's like, yeah. And I said, no, don't sign me up for anything on my own now, because I get very nervous with these things. And she said, Nikki Byrne is going to be the host. And I was like, quick, sign me up immediately, because I love Westlife. So I was like, oh my God, sign me up. And then I had to go through a couple of rounds. I had to do like the Zoom interview. I had to go to Dublin and stuff like that. And then I got onto the actual show, and it was just the best experience ever. Everybody was so lovely. All the contestants became friends, and just like meeting like Nadine Coyle, Joey Fatone, and Samantha Mumbash. I loved them when I was growing up in the 90s. I absolutely loved them. And then being with Nikki as well. And the experience of the comments and stuff, I was just weak for. It was brilliant.
Were you disappointed? I mean, you got the silver medal, and which I think is a remarkable achievement in itself. Were you disappointed that you just didn't get that last distance?
No, not one bit. I was so thrilled to be able to stand up there and become second to an absolute amazing singer. And the fact that he was from Cork as well, I was like, woo, go on Cork. But just to even be pulled out and, to get up there to stand beside him and become second. Sure, I was delighted to even get on the show, never mind become second.
Yeah, no, your performances were terrific, I have to say. I mean, I'm not somebody who, tunes into RTE, but I did for that one, I have to say. And then, Jen, am I right in thinking that as a duet or as a band, you did appear on some other RTE show as well, or have I got that wrong?
Yeah, no, we were on Ireland's Got Talent there a couple of years ago, so we got to go on in front of 4 judges, and we got 4 yeses and everything, and it went great, we thought, but we didn't get the call back for the next round. But we had a great time anyway. It was a great experience, and good for they all, I suppose. I don't know, getting on the TV and getting that kind of experience and that side of things,
Carolyn, if I could just come back to because it is an LGBTQ+ show. How did your family, both older and younger, respond when you said, "Oh, by the way, I'm in love with a woman"?
Good. Like, they were all great. Sure, they kind of knew anyway. They kind of saw it happening for a while, but no, everybody was fine. Like, my family would be very open anyway, so they didn't say anything. I actually have a sister who's gay as well, so it wouldn't be a shock in our family. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
I think that's what we're finding in a lot of Irish families, because I have two cousins who are brothers. Well, one is LGBT as well. What's your story, Jen? Were you always playing on the ladies' team, or or as we say, did you kick with both feet?
You know what? No, it'll be a shock, but I wasn't always for the ladies. I used to have boyfriends when I was younger. And I didn't actually come out until I was around 21. And then, sure, look, I'm screaming.
Yeah, you've never stopped wearing sensible shoes, as we say.
Exactly, yeah.
Tell me, over the last 12 months, because this program is produced in Dublin, I've started to look at the LGBT world around the country, and the people I've met from Cork, particularly the Cork Pride people, and particularly the older men as well, there seems to be a really vibrant LGBT environment in Cork. Now, you've mentioned Chambers, which is very well known around the country. How would you describe the scene? Is it a very LGBT friendly scene? Is there lots of choices of places to go, or what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I came from Tralee, so Cork was miles ahead of Tralee to start with. So definitely, like, I suppose when I came up, there was loafers as well at the time, and then there was Chambers. At the moment, I feel like there is only kind of Chambers at the minute. Now, I feel like people are very open to, I suppose, being lesbian and gay in Cork, but I would like if there was a lot more places to go to besides one venue, like, you know.
Yeah. Well, even in Dublin, there's still very difficult to come across venues that are exclusively for women. I mean, there's occasionally events and things like that, but while there are 3 or 4 places for men, there's not really, excuse me, any place that is hugely focused on women. And maybe it's time to start getting people like yourselves out there and joining all the dots and saying, this is what we need. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I know Link is a great service in Cork, like, and that is kind of mainly based for lesbian and gay and stuff like that. But they do run the women's weekend, like, it is like just a one-off event, like, you know. Or if Pride is on, they do have like a women's only night as well. But yeah, I think that's a great idea. There really should be more, you know, around, especially because, like, even in Grand Canyon and stuff, like, it is mainly kind of aimed towards gay men rather than being lesbian or whatever, you know?
Yeah. Well, I have to tell you, the last time I saw you in Dublin, which was 2019, after I went to the event in Fitzwilliam Square, later on, some friends of mine were having a women's only disco called Wanton Women, I think it was. So perhaps next time round we can get you come along to that and have a bit of a dance, eh?
There'll be no bother there.
Yeah. You were scheduled to play the outing. Have you played there before?
Yeah.
Now we know that the outing has been cancelled for 2022. Have you played it in the past?
Yeah, we have. We've played there for twice, wasn't it? For a few years.
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
And it was the best weekend. The outing is such a good weekend. We love it. And we're actually gutted that we can't go this year. We were so gutted when we found out that it was cancelled again, but roll on next year anyway, because it's the best weekend. It's fab. And they've great acts as well. They Johnny Logan the last time, Niamh Kavanagh was meant to come this time. You know, they just have great acts as well, and everyone just gets along and everyone are best friends. It's great.
Yeah, it's great for anyone that's single as well. Like, there's a nice friendly group, like, and it's just great crack. Like, Paul Ryder's the host and stuff like that, and Eddie McGuinness, and they're brilliant. Like,
it's great crack. Like, my jaw would hurt like from laughing so much all weekend. It's just the best weekend ever.
Yeah.
Did you play it when it was in Lisdoon Varna, or just in since it moved to Limerick? Yeah.
Both.
Yeah,
both, you did play both. Yeah. Let's talk about you put out a single called Mistake, which I played for listeners earlier this week. You've got another one coming up very, very soon. Tell us about that and tell us how it came about.
Oh, right, okay. So our new single is called Warrior, and it's out this Friday now. And basically, we wanted to write something that was kind of like a power ballad to show off Cara's kind of high notes and stuff like that. We wanted it to be like, I suppose, woman power and woman empowerment, that kind of vibe going across it, like, you know. So we called it Warrior, and I suppose the story within it then is just about overcoming obstacles in your life. I suppose being a woman and kind of things you have to face, that kind of stuff. So looking forward to that coming out now.
And how did the previous one do? How did Mistake do? Was it well received around the country?
Yeah, we got good. We got some radio play and stuff like that as well. So it was good. We were on 2XM and Cork's Red FM and 96 FM played it as well for us. So it was great support down here for it, like, you know. So thanks a million for you playing it as well.
Not at all. Is it a situation now that there's virtually no, what I'm hearing is that there's virtually no money to be made from recorded music, that you just have to get out there and play live music, and this is why it's so important that we have live music back again in the country?
Yeah, definitely. So I suppose we kind of do covers as well. So we do the weddings and parties and all that kind of stuff to pay the bills. And then we do our own originals then as well. So like we played Electric Picnic the last couple of years and stuff like that. So we just kind of want to build our, I suppose, original side of stuff, you know, and try and get more radio play and all that kind of stuff. And then we can do maybe gigs with our own music, you know. Yeah.
And in the Lennon-McCartney equation, how does it break down? Who writes the music? Who writes the words? Or does one write everything?
I do nothing. I just sing.
Just sing, Carol, and get out of that too. You do a lot more than sing, don't you?
No,
you create the atmosphere. I can tell you that.
Jen writes all the music, and she has another girl in Dubai, her friend, who does all the lyrics and the melody. So literally, she sends it to me, and I learn the song, and I just sing it. So I literally do nothing.
But you sing it so well, though.
Yeah. Oh, doesn't she just? Do you still have that little hat?
Yeah.
Do you remember the hat? Do you remember the hat you had at Pride? You know, a little top hat.
Yeah, I do. Ellie has it actually. Ellie actually took it off me. It is in her toy box. I still have it. Yeah.
And last but by no means least, is Cork Pride going to take place this year as well? Like, I mean, clearly you can't top what you did last year, but I would hope, knowing your connections with Paul Ryder, that you'd be back on there again, because it really was a good event in 2021.
It was brilliant, yeah. And like for, I suppose, what they had to do to kind of stick within the rules, it was brilliant. The drive-in gig, like we've never done anything like that before too, so it was a great experience. Like, obviously, it was unbelievable when Caroline asked me to marry her.
It also looked great. Are you also, has Eddie McGuinness invited you back to Dublin Pride, or do I have to go along and, put a horse head on his bed to say, look...
I sure look, give him an old nudge there.
Yeah. So before we go, can you just introduce the new single, and if there's anybody else out there you want to dedicate it to, we'll be very happy to do that for you.
Well, do you know what? I've been thinking about this all week, and I actually really wanted to dedicate it to Aisling Murphy's family, because obviously what happened was horrific.
Terrible.
Yeah, so this song is all about women empowerment and all that kind of stuff. So I'd like to dedicate it to her. That's okay. So this next song is called Warrior.
Warrior it is. Look, all we can say is there's a lot of men out there. We have a lot of listening to do and a lot of talking to each other. So I'm so pleased to be able to talk to Carolyn Bailey and Jandy Bhean today. They're called Sparkle, and hopefully we'll be seeing them at this year's 2022 Dublin Pride. So take care, and we will catch you again soon, because it's been a delight to catch you both today, finally.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Take care.
Sticks and stones might break my bones, broke my heart from the start. No one knows how deep it goes, breaks my heart. We're apart. I'm a warrior. You can't face me now.
inside. What I tried to hide, hold my cards to my heart. Face the world, a broken girl, but I smile all the while. I'm in over my head, and I'm deep in the waters that I tread. As I lay in my bed, I go over all the words you said. I'm a warrior. You can't face me now. You can't break me down. I'm a warrior. I will turn around. I will fight somehow. I'm in over my head. Now I'm drowning in the words you said. I won't lay here, I won't quit, I'm not dead. Now I'm a warrior. You can't face me now. You can't break me down. I'm a warrior. I will turn around. I will fight somehow. I'm a warrior.
Friends with Dorothy come out off the sidewalk and onto the street to the sound of those legendary feet. When there's no place like home, anti-him, anti-establishment. With the chaff and the short straw, they'll have a stuff for sure. Anti-M, I'm anti-establishment. They took my name and the clothes I own. They broke our hearts, but not our souls. When there's no place like home, when there's no place like home, when there's no place like home.